You will work this dangerous position without training. Leads to, have fun talking to the union. My dad was visiting us for Christmas and as usual, I got him to share some more stories about his youth, and he shared a time where he used malicious compliance to not only shut up one of his bosses and get him into trouble. Many years ago, back when Dad was a college student, he earned extra money for living expenses by working in a car manufacturing plant. The state at the time was a closed shop, which meant you had to join the union in order to work unless you were in an executive position. One of the rules said union set up at Dad's workplace was that no employee could work certain positions unless they had been trained for it. This included positions such as forklift operator and trash compactor. This was included in the contract and was a no-break rule. Enter George the manager. Made-up name. Unlike many in this thread, George was actually a nice fellow, but to quote Joseph from It's a Wonderful Life, he has the IQ of a jackrabbit, and didn't always think things through. One Saturday afternoon, Dad came into work when George pulled him aside. I need you to do me a favor, son. The trash compactor is jammed and I need someone to crawl in and unjam it. You're the smallest of us all, so it shouldn't be a problem for you. Now, not only had Dad not been trained for loading the compactor, but even he knew crawling in there would be a dumb idea. George, I haven't been trained for this position. George got all flustered and told him, just do it. Dad then got an idea for some malicious compliance. I'll do it, but is it okay if I ask one of the other guys to spot me and make sure I don't get squashed? Quote. George said, that'll be fine. Just make sure the job is done. Dad then headed to his union shop leader Kenny. Made-up name. Like George, Kenny was a decent fellow but was very protective of his workers. Dad told Kenny what had happened and asked him to spot him. Cue Kenny, turning at least 5 shades of purple, before storming to George's office. Dad told me the whole floor went silent as Kenny unloaded on George for trying to make a poor college kid do something so fucking dangerous, and that this will be recorded and written up. Kenny stormed out, leaving a frightened-looking George quaking in his steel-toed boots. The compactor ended up getting fixed without someone crawling into it, and George always asked if people were trained for positions before asking them to do it. Kenny may well have saved your dad's life. I'm glad people like Kenny are out there. What a smashing story. Love, union compliance, stories. Well, at least he learned his lesson, unlike many others. I worked in a warehouse with a compactor baler thing. That thing was fucking serious. And this is why we need unions. This story just pisses me off. George is one stupid motherfucker and had no business being in a position of leadership. You could have role-played Star Wars when in the trash compactor. The fact that the compactor was able to be fixed without needing anyone to crawl under it shows how incompetent the boss guy was. Fuck that guy. Your dad's hella cool BTW. Shit like this is quite literally why unions were formed. To keep people alive because their employers couldn't be bothered without mass worker revolt. We had proper lockout procedures for that type of work. And people wonder why we need unions. Don't hands clapping enter hands clapping confined hands clapping spaces. Especially ones designed to stop being confined spaces and become confined nothings. I hope you realize that you were only one George away from possibly not existing. Send an untrained person to clear a compactor? The guy probably didn't have locks, and if he did, he certainly didn't know how to properly secure that device. George sent that guy into a situation that could have easily gotten him killed. Kenny let George off easy. I would have had his head on a fucking platter. Glad it was George who got crushed rather than your dad. What trouble was tossed upon George? When I was a teenager, I did some community service at a recycling plant. One time the compactor, baler, thing that made the garbage into compact cubes, was stuck. They had someone climb in to unstick it. While the person was in there, someone leaned on the controls and it started up a bit. It was stopped immediately and they were fine, but that could have gone very badly. That is a real good way to get someone badly injured or dead. This is why managers should be trained on and get experience in every position that works under them. And why unions are so important. Jesus Christ, I'm glad your dad knew to stand up for himself. This could have ended so badly.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.